Hello and welcome back to the channel. This is actually going to be an advanced video. So for those of you who have been practicing FMA, Kali or Eskrima, whatever the name is, or any kind of Southeast Asian arts, this is actually going to be an advanced approach to training. So you know the basic 12 angles, right? Regardless of what kind of angles they are, depending on the family lineage that you study under. The approach that we're going to do with the basic angles, yes, they're basic, but our approach to them is going to be very advanced. And reason being is you not only want you to refresh your training so that your training is not dull and monotonous, but you also want it to be a little bit more exciting, dynamic, and to be able to find the nuances of the training within the basics, okay? Because I firmly believe that the reason why there are a lot of very good masters out there is because they actually train the basics really, really well. And because of their clear understanding of the basics, the nuances that they found within training those basics led them to the great mastery that you've already known them for. Which is the reason why a lot of the black belts or the very, very professional ones are really, really good in what they do. Not because they know a whole lot, but because they actually were rigorous in their training of the basics, okay? So one of the ways that we could train the basics is to actually add more power hits to them. So a power hit would actually be you delivering a power strike to any of the said 12. Yes, you could argue that you want to train all of the power shots on all of the basic angles, 12 of them. But in reality, you're not actually going to continuously do power shot after power shot because that's actually going to be very, very tiring unless you actually have a master of stamina, which majority of us don't. So which is the reason why we train, for us to gain more stamina. That being said, I'm going to use the dummy as an example. You can use a heavy bag if you don't have a dummy, or you can just practice in the air, it's fine. So shadow stick fighting, that's the reason why it's called shadow, because we're actually fighting a shadow, whatever kind of opponent that we're imagining that we're trying to hit or practice with, that's what we call shadow. So basic gist is each count that you decide to count on would be a power stroke. Say for example, I do a basic, right? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Out of those basic 12 angles, one of those I would choose to be a power strike. Say for example, I use a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Now I use a 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Now I do a 3, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and so on and so forth. So what you will find is that you're not only able to deliver power shots on any number on the basic angles that you want, but you're actually practicing power shots on any angle regardless of what basic angle it is, okay? Eventually, you'll be able to do a power strike randomly. So say for example, I do the basic 12 strikes, right? Like so, right? And then I decide to do that. As I decide to actually do a power strike on the 9, like so. In the range 10, 11, and 12. Okay? See what I need? On the beginner's eyes, this is actually going to be very confusing because each strike that I do is in full motion, but in reality, the nuance of delivering your power strike using your core a little bit of nudge from your hip, and using a little bit of your arm. So instead of just actually extending your arm, you're now trying to aggressively place your arm to your opposite hip. So the difference is this, like so. But if I add more power, see? All the nuances, all the small things, if you actually do them, make a huge difference between the beginner, the intermediate, and the advanced. So, you don't want to do a full power like you do with a baseball bat, right? Where you actually can see the full power of the batter, like so, or the full power of a golfer. We're not doing that kind of motion. What we're doing are the small things that actually reflects the small things that we did that makes a huge impact on the things that we do. Okay? Even though I'm actually doing it normally, if I actually choose to deliver power, it's noticeable. Okay? Even if I do just angle 1 and 2, like so. See? That's angle 1. Angle 3, 4, 5. See? A huge difference between just doing this and then having the intent to thrust. Okay? Difference of this and that. Right? So, that's a thing, or a very small thing that I want to share with you advanced practitioners, is that if you want to change up your training, go back to the basics, find the nuances in the basics, and then train them with some of the things that you want to train in. So in this case, we actually want to train in power, but we're not going full-on power on all of the basic strikes. Rather, we're practicing on power strike on the basic angle number that we choose to. But I strongly suggest that if you haven't, that is, if you're still new to this, that you would actually start from angle 1 and then work your way to angle 12. So each angle number will be a power strike. So you're basically going to do 12 sets of 12 basic angles, where one number is going to be a power strike. Okay, so if your first power strike is 1, that's your power strike, and then next set, angle 2 is your power strike, next set, angle 3, next set, angle 4, so on and so forth. So hopefully this video has helped you advance to refresh your training when it comes to FMA, especially when you're trying to do the basics. Yes, they're very boring, I know. But in reality, the reason why there are a lot of very good masters out there, as I explained earlier, was that they're very, very good in training the basics. They find the nuances, the small things in those basics, and then refine them so much so that they're very, very good at it, even though you're seeing that they're doing the advanced stuff. In a way, the masters are just very advanced in doing basics, whereas you're just learning the alphabet of the basics. Okay, so hopefully this video has helped you even in the smallest way possible. Always train safe, and God bless you.